Hi, in this video, let us try to create an EC2 instance of Amazon Linux AMI, and let's create a public subnet in it, and we'll try to ping google.com in that, and let's just see the architecture diagram first. So basically, you will have your AWS cloud, and which is going to have the two service which we'll be using in this video. So which is going to be your VPC. Basically, inside your VPC, you will have to have a public subnet, and over the public subnet, you will be creating your Elastic computing cloud, which is your EC2, and I'm going to use Linux AMI. And in order to have an interaction with the external world, I am going to create and associate the subnet with Internet Gateway. So let's just go into the Amazon Web Service, and then we will know what I'm talking about. So once you log in into your Amazon, you go to your EC2, and so right now I'm using Frankfurt, which is Europe Central region. So this is my region where I wanted to create my instance. So which will be like the service that I'll be using to create the Amazon Linux service is going to be coming in the instance. Uh, Probably if you're watching this video, you probably know what is an instance, like which is an EC2 instance and EC2 service. And so before I go and create my instance, I will want to use VPC service. So let's just search for VPC service. So inside my VPC service, I already have one VPC, but let's create a new VPC. So try to give like a name for that. You will need a VPC. So basically, VPC is the setup that a cloud uh, will want if you want to have your own virtual private network. Like you might have multiple resources on your network, and you probably want to virtualize that using the cloud service. On that case, you will wanted to create a VPC first. So I am trying to create a VPC, and my I'm just naming it like demo VPC, and I'm trying to give a CIDR block here. So my CIDR is going to be 10.0.0.0/24. So here, one might wonder why I wanted to give like 10.0.0.0/24. So if you will look for the IP addressing classes, so 10 will come under like a private addressing, and when I say 24, I wanted to use like the minimum of IP address resources that I might be using in this VPC. And also in one VPC, you can use, you will also have to do subnetting so that you can have that many number of IP addresses over this network. So that's a little bit a different topic, but how I'm passing this address, like I can create a new video, but let's just focus on this thing. So create your give a name for your VPC. So the tag is going to be like I'm creating a tag called the demo VPC. I'm choosing IPv4, and I'm giving a CIDR block as 10.0.0/24. I'm taking tenancy as default. If you're going to take, it also gives you a choice of dedicated. I wouldn't prefer dedicated because this will be like for an enterprise kind of usage. Like if an organization is going to use, probably they will want it to spend more money, and it is going to be expensive. Default is going to be like you will not have your own stack of your actual physical space. Like if it's going to be dedicated, it's expensive. Default, probably you'll have your shared space somewhere in the cloud. So, so I've given my demo VPC. I'm giving the tag as well. Let's give the tag also as demo VPC. And I'm creating it. So the first thing is I am trying to create my first network, my virtual network, like which is my like a network for my cloud. So which is my virtual private cloud. I'm creating my cloud first. So once you create your cloud, you give your IP v4 address, and then what you'll have to do is once you create your VP, now you know you have your cloud, your VPC, you know you have your cloud. The next thing that you should do is you will have to create a subnet. So just go to the subnet. I already have a subnet, but like for this demo purpose, let's create one more subnet. So subnetting is basically, uh, I have a cloud, means on my cloud, I have decided that I'm going to use a cloud, a domain, a cloud space of my own, and inside that I wanted to create my own instances, and that instances can have multiple resources in it. Like my requirement could be very simple, like maybe I just wanted to host one website, or probably my requirement could be like I wanted to use multiple uh, like applications inside my same domain. And like for example, you can have a company and you can have an intranet site, or you can have your own HRMS site, or you can have like some time logger site, something like that. So you will have your own variations of different instances, but still you wanted everything to be under your own cloud space. So in that case, people will go for subnetting. So in subnetting, you choose the VPC on which you wanted to create your in which you wanted to create your public instance. So I'm like giving my I'm creating my subnet. So in my subnet, I'm choosing the one that I have created. And thing is, we have just created, so the name has not appeared here. So let's see if I have given name for that. So I have VPC. So make sure you give your name here, else it's going to give confusion when you have multiple VPC. Once you create the VPC, you give a name, and then you go for subnet, and you try to create a subnet. So while creating a subnet, you are actually going to pick which subnet you wanted uh, the VPC to be associated with. So I am using demo VPC because I wanted to use demo VPC for the subnetting and to create an instance over this setup. So let's create some subnet name. So demo public subnet, and I'm choosing an availability zone. So I want this for the region. My choice of region is like Europe Central. So so it's based on the usage, like where you wanted your region to be. Like by default, when you log in, the Amazon is going to give you US, like it'll be like US, East, West, and Virginia. Like maybe you can take anything. So I am going for EU Central. And here again, you are supposed to give your CIDR block, which is going to be to the IP address what you were saying. So this is going to be subnetting. So I was actually referring CIDR block even in the VPC. So there, what you mentioned is your IP addressing, and in the subnetting, you will need your CIDR block, which is going to be a a subset of what you have already given. So here I'm just choosing 10.0.0.0/24. And this number should always be a subset of what you have given. And also one might wonder, why do we have to use 10? It's like I said, this is going to be your private instance. Instance in the sense nobody in the internet can directly access this instance. And there could also be a case where people will wanted a private instance, like when I say private IP for your VPC, which is like the step in the previous step where we created the VPC. There also we mentioned 10.0.0.0/24 means I don't want a private VPC. Like I don't want want my cloud to be accessible over the internet, because for example, if my Say, for example, your YouTube or your Netflix could be something that is public. Like in that instance, probably people will wanted a public IP. But for an organization or for like say like if you're working for some bank or like if you wanted to maintain some database or you want to maintain some user details and you're probably creating an instance and you wanted to save that, and during for that cases people will not nobody would prefer a public IP which is not secure. Plus, when you will have public IP, your maintenance is going to be huge and your charges are also going to be huge. So for the demo purpose, just go with the default value, which is going to be your 10, your private IP. I'm giving like 10, and the same is also going to be coming into the, will be there in the screen. So from there, so your name, anyways, even if I put this name, it is not getting saved. So I would rather create it. So once you create it, I have my demo public subnet, even the name is appearing, which is still a good news. So once I create my subnet, what I have to do is uh, I have to associate it with a route table. Basically, even before I go and associate it with a route table, I am looking for an association here. So yeah. So before I go and associate it with the route table, I need an internet gateway. And why I need an internet gateway is because so now that I have a VPC and I have a subnet, I wanted this. I'm going to create an instance over this. My VPC has given me the service of having a cloud of my own, and my subnet is allowing me to create a network among the resources that I will be sharing the VPC with. So let's go to the internet gateway. So an internet gateway, create uh, an internet gateway separately for this. So I'm creating demo internet gateway is the name, and create it. Once you have created, so once you have created the demo internet gateway, you are getting an option. So you have to attach your VPC to this internet gateway. So let's attach it. What is the one that is available? So you have demo VPC and attach the internet gateway. So once you do this, attaching your internet gateway to that VPC. So first it was VPC, second subnet, third internet gateway, fourth you go to the route table and you will have to provide your routes. So this is the default table which I was using priorly. So now that we have our own VPC, so that would also have its own route table. So let's click that. So if you see, it is not having any subnet association with it. So let's go there. And yeah, so we have created our internet gateway. So let's just check for the continuity. So we have our internet gateway, and it has been attached to the VPC. So your VPC is your cloud, and the moment if your first step in the workflow is going to be like you create a VPC, and next is going to be your subnetting. And in the subnetting, I have given name like demo public subnet, and third is going to be your internet gateway. And since I have named it as public, it is not really a public until I actually route it to the internet gateway. So I created an internet gateway. So now in the route table, so every time you create a VPC, you will have one entry in the route table. So, so let's just delete the unnecessary VPCs in it. So this I'm deleting. Okay. So let's just ignore this for a moment. So how am I saying like that I wanted to delete that is I am no longer using this VPC. So we have this one. So if you will come to scroll to your right side, you will see the VPC name, which is demo VPC. So we have a router by default created for that VPC. Let's give some name to this. So I'm going to give demo router, save it, and click that. So what you do is after you create an internet gateway for your subnetting, come to subnet association and edit subnet association and try to save create an association for your uh, route table and the internet gateway. So let's come to, so you have made your subnet association with your subnet, and then you come to the routes and you will have to edit one more route. Your so you have one route which is for your instance to have the target as your instance that you're going to create, and destination is going to be like from your local you will be wanted to reach to this particular resource, whatever resource that is going to be available in your VPC. Now you're going to create one more route. This is to this I'm going to keep like 0.0.0/0 means any computers can access this internet gateway. So which is going to be, so here I'm just taking internet gateway. If you will have multiple internet gateway, you will have to choose one. For this one, I have only one, so I'm just choosing that. And let's save changes. So this will be your actual private networking setup that you will have to do in order to create an instance over this setup. So you have all the routes being created. So that is a good thing. So this is on the, so all these things are being done on the virtual private cloud, which is VPC. So if you will look at this diagram, so we were taking care of this portion. So we did this internet gateway setup, and did this public subnet setup. All these things comes under VPC service, which is Amazon VPC service. So we will have to create an instance. When I say instance, basically you wanted to create your own computer in the Amazon cloud. So I am so for that you will need Amazon Elastic Computing Cloud, so which is EC2. So for that service, go to EC2, search for that. Okay. So basically, you will see this this dashboard, and currently I don't have any instance in it. So let's create. I think I don't have an instance here. So let's create an instance. So for creating instance, you launch your instances. Again, let's give it a name. Demo public server. So I'm choosing Amazon Linux, and I'm choosing 2023 AMI, which is mission image. So basically, the olden way of actually installing an OS can be considered like the step that we are doing here. I'm basically choosing the AMI image, and I'm choosing a free tier, which will give me like an 8 GB space of system in the cloud to me. And the cloud is already we have done the setup of cloud, which is our demo VPC, our virtual private cloud. And on top of that cloud, we are picking an Amazon Linux instance, and I am going for T2 Micro, which is a free tier. I'm creating a key pair. So for the people who are doing this setup for the very first time, they will have to create a new key pair, and then they will have to you will need this key pair like for future if you wanted to connect in SSH, and for so many other things you will be required. And for now, I'm using the keypad that I've already generated, and I wouldn't want to spend much time on keypad generation because I have another video that explains about how you will generate a keypad and how you will save your key file and how you will feed it back to the system from your CLI as well. But like, yeah, that's a different topic. So you can create a new pair, and so right now I'm choosing an existing key pair. And so this is the setup which will actually give you the connection between the VPC that you have created and how you will be using those values here. So you have network info, click and see like if it is making sense to you. So in it like edit it. So you have your VPC. So I have previously used test VPC. I'm going to choose demo VPC, the one that we created. And subnet, yeah, I'm going to use this subnet which we created now, demo subnet. And here you will most of the time people will forget to choose this. Make sure you are assigning public IP, and you create a security group, or you can create an existing group. So for what we have seen is uh, so we have our cloud, and we have given the actual virtual physical routing, I can say. So, for example, if you will have some research lab, and if you will have multiple computers, so you will have its own route table, and you will have it will have its own modem, and you will have the network switcher. So all those kind of setups have been done and been taken care in the Amazon VPC service. So in this, when you're creating your system, you will have to actually do these setups so that it is going to be taken care at this level as well, even in the instance level as well. So here you will have to create a security group. So you can, if you are using a fresh instance, probably you create a new group, or if you already have, just choose that. So I'm creating a new one. So when you create a new one, so for one is going to be SSH, and for this SSH connection, you probably will need that keypad. And the next one I'm keeping is like, I'm keeping it like from anywhere, like any systems can access it, or maybe you can keep it like only your system, which is going to be my IP. For time being, I'll like keep it as anywhere, and then just create it. Go for the launch logs. So things have been pretty much created. Let's go to the instance. So this is my instance. So click that. So this is my AMI instance that I have created. So what we'll do, is it running? Yep, it's running. So choose the server that you have just created. This is basically, if you see this diagram, so we have done this setup as well. We have connected it with the internet gateway, and our VPC is all setup is also done. So we will have to now check whether from this instance I can connect to the internet or not. So for that, I will still have to do one more check after doing all these things. I will have to check my security, because these are some mistakes people often do. So check your security group, and so you have one inbound rule is TCP. Your outbound rule, you have all traffic. So this is basically when I am going to, well, I have any connection to the outward world. So if I'll be blocking this one, I will not be able to connect with any of the systems that is outside. So my inbound rule currently has SSH. So let's look at it. Even though we had another rule there, somehow it's not coming. It's okay. So here I'm putting anywhere again. So this is TCP. So this is like from the browser also. Just wondering whether it was TCP or HTTP, but yeah, let's save it for a while before getting confused. So yeah, let's open our putty. So in the putty, what we will do, what you will have to do is EC2 instance is running. So in the connect, so come to your SSH detail, copy that. So I have a key that I've already generated. So let's take, let's open and accept. So this is basically I have actually connected to the instance. So let's see if google.com is working. So basically the actual point of making this video is I wanted to create this instance and I wanted to ping to google.com, which means all our setting has so far worked out well. And that is it then. Thank you.